Hey, this is Rob Moore, award-winning author, leadership expert, and founder of therobmoore.com. And I help people show up, step out, and shine so they can perform better and become leaders who shine. And today's a very special day because today we officially kick off the Rob Moore's Words of Wisdom video series. And I really think you're going to get a lot of value from the idea I'm going to be sharing with you today, because there's so many things that I want to share with you on these videos. And I've been thinking about it for like the past 24 to 48 hours about what do I really want to start this video series out with. And the thing that I came up with is one of the most powerful ideas that I have ever learned in my entire life. And it has changed everything very, very quickly. And the funny thing about this idea, and before I even get into that, why don't I just tell you what the idea is? The idea is this: repetition is the mother of skill. Repetition is the mother of skill. Now, the first time I heard that line was by a gentleman by the name of Jim Rohn, who's the guy is just a phenomenal teacher of personal development. Phenomenal guy. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us. He happened to pass away a few years ago, but a phenomenal guy. And when I heard that idea, it made a lot of sense to me. But I didn't really take action on it because I didn't really understand it. Now, that idea is responsible for a lot of the things that I have done in my life. It's responsible for a lot of things that you have done in your life, good and bad. You just might not consciously be aware of it, but you're definitely aware of it subconsciously. The second person that I heard that idea from is a gentleman by the name of Tony Robbins. Now, if you know anything about personal development, the chances are very high that you know who Tony Robbins is, who is like the number one top authority on personal performance. The guy's the go-to guy. And Jim Rohn is actually the guy who's responsible for a lot of Tony Robbins training. So I heard it from Tony, and that idea kind of went in one ear and out the other because I kind of took it for granted. So I didn't really take action on that idea because I didn't really understand it. So I've heard that idea here and there and lived my life. Had a lot of success in some areas, had some failures in some other areas, and so on and so on. And it wasn't until literally maybe 6 to 8 months earlier from the time of shooting this video that I really understood the importance of that idea. And once I applied that idea, oh my goodness, the difference that it had made. So let me share with you this. I learned the person that really helped me ingrain that idea and really get a deep understanding of it to the point that I take action on it consistently every day, day in, day out, is a gentleman by the name of Bob Proctor. Now, this is another guy who's a very important guy when it comes to personal development, but Bob Proctor specializes in the workings of the mind. You know, he's one of the guys that knows more about the mind than most people in the entire world because he was personally mentored by a gentleman by the name of Earl Nightingale, who was like the guy who really invented personal development. You know, he was the guy he was like one of the first guys to actually put personal development material like on audio CDs so people that can start to listen to it in their car over and over and over again. So I got so inspired the first time that I heard Bob Proctor speak about how to get what you want out of life and how the mind works. And I was like really drawn in to what this guy was saying. So I started watching like a whole bunch of videos on YouTube. And I just kept getting more inspired and more inspired on what he was saying. Like, because I never fully understood the mind at such a deep level that he was explaining it until I really started to listen to Bob Proctor. And he just kept talking about this one program that he has. And it actually came out a very, very long time ago. I think it was even before I was born. And the name of this program was called You Were Born Rich. He has a book named that, and he also has a seminar that's named You Were Born Rich. And, you know, I got this program, I started to go through that program, and all he talks about in that program more than anything else is the fact that repetition is really the key to making things work. Because when it comes to reading a book, if you just read a book once, put it down and never go back to it, the odds are very high that you don't really understand that book. It's very hard to read a book once and get a good understanding of it. You can get some kind of understanding, but if you go back and read that book a second time, you're going to pick up a lot more information. You're going to get a deeper understanding. And if you read it again, it's going to keep getting deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And every time you read the book, your mind is always changing. So it's almost like you're reading, even though you're reading the same book over and over again, it's almost like you're reading a different book. And I was like really thinking about that idea and that perspective on how it applied to my life. And I was like, you know what? That makes a lot of sense, because I've read hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of books, but I've only read them once, maybe twice, before getting this idea. I've went to a lot of seminars, once, maybe twice, and didn't get a lot of massive results from any of the seminars that I went. Didn't get really any massive results from any of the books that I read. So I thought about that, and I was like, this is freaking phenomenal. So I started off with just that one program where I learned that idea, and I just kept watching it over and over and over and over and over and over again. And it started to shape my mind, and I started to get a deeper understanding of it every single time that I read it. So this idea I started to apply to everything. You know, so he has a book, like one of the first books that Bob Proctor actually started reading on success was a book by the name of Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. He has read that book over and over and over again for over 20 years, and still to this day he's learning something new. He's getting deeper perspectives on it, and he's able to apply the information consciously and subconsciously because of the fact that he's gone through it so many times. So why am I starting this video series off with this idea? Because if you're watching this video right now, the chances are very low that if you just watch this video once, you're going to understand everything that I'm saying. But every single time that you turn on this video, you're going to get a deeper perspective. You're going to get a clearer understanding of what I'm talking about. You're going to start to get insights if you keep watching this video over and over and over again. So don't make the mistake of watching this video once and think you understand what I'm saying. Don't think that if somebody recommends a book for you to read that can change your life, and you pick that book up and you read it one time, that you understand it and that you can apply the information. Don't think that you can have a conversation with a successful person one time and understand everything that they're saying. No, you want to have as many conversations as you possibly can with that successful person. You want to read that book as many times as you possibly can. You want to watch this video as many times as you possibly can. Because the more you do it over and over and over again, the deeper understanding you're going to get, and the easier you're going to be able to apply the information on a conscious level where you actually are aware of what you're doing. And you're also going to be able to apply the information on a subconscious level where you don't even know that you're applying it, but you are applying it without you even knowing it. That was a little deep. We'll get into that a little bit later. But this idea is one of the most important, one of the most life-changing ideas I have ever heard in my entire life. Because repetition gets information from the conscious level to the subconscious level. And all the magic happens on the subconscious level. And we're going to talk a lot more about that in some videos in the future, because that's a whole subject in itself. But just remember, the idea that I want you to walk away from with this video is the idea that repetition is the mother of skill. So pick a book on success and read it over and over and over and over and over and over again. Taking one book like Think and Grow Rich and reading that one book over and over and over and over and over and over and over again is much better than reading 50 different books on success only once or twice. Believe me. And this idea is so critical and so important that, we're not going to just talk about it in this one video. We're going to talk about it more on other videos. But the words of wisdom for today is that repetition is the mother of skill. And don't think that you can do something one time, hear something one time, and think that you fully understand it. If you want to fully understand it, or you want to take things to the next level, keep repeating the process over and over and over again. And that is the words of wisdom that I have for you today. And I'll see you on the next video. Hey, my name is Rob Moore, reminding you to show up, step out, and shine. Now is your time, so make it shine. Thank you very much and have a fantastic day. Later.